Donna Schwartz here from the Everything Saxophone podcast, and I'm at the Silverstein Works booth here with Calvin Sun. We are at the NAMM 2024 show, sponsored by Rovner Products. Welcome, Calvin, to NAMM, and I'm so excited to hear about all the new stuff. He's got a whole tray of stuff that he's going to show us. So great to see you again.
Yes, it's nice to see you again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about some of the new products that we have here at NAMM 2024.
Awesome.
So we're Silverstein Works. We started out as a ligature company, so I think it's best to start off with talking about some of the ligatures that we have here. Can I just raise it up?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have here the Hexa ligature. It's a 5-corded string ligature. That's really one of our popular sellers. It comes in gold, rose gold, and black variations. Here at this event, we brought with us the gold variation. It's very popular among tenor players and also alto players. It's a very versatile piece of equipment that allows you to really hone in on the type of sound that you're looking for. These bars on the side, they move up and down just like any of our other ligatures. That allows you the flexibility to control the brightness and the darkness of your sound, and also it's a good tool for you to use to compensate for different conditions of your reeds that you might be playing at the moment. So it's a very good tool for a lot of professional musicians as well.
Can you talk about, in terms of moving the bar up and down, So
this ligature, so it'll sit like this, and then the reeds will be on this side, and then you will be cranking the wing nut from the back of the mouthpiece. And so these chords that are actually touching the reed vibrates with the vibrations of the reed. So if you move these bars on the side closer to the reed, then a shorter length of the chord is vibrating, allowing the sound to be a little bit brighter. If you move the bars away from the reed, the sound will darken up, and giving you a little bit more resistance in the sound palette.
That's interesting. And you talked also about allowing for inconsistencies of the reed.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So depending on the condition of, this is a very common, I think a lot of your cane reed users would agree with the concept that depending on the condition or the age of the reed that's maybe on its way out, these fine, we call them fine tuners on the bars, you can actually use them to compensate for the lack of performance that you might be getting at the tail end of the life expectancy of a cane reed. So it's a very useful tool for a lot of the professional level players that really they're on their last few reeds in their case that they really need to get the most out of. This is a very good tool to have for them to utilize those moments.
For sure. And I just want to hold this closer to the camera. These are beautiful ligatures. You can see Silverstein right over there. Okay, you see this beautiful ligature over here. And let me ask you another question too. When it comes to placement on the mouthpiece, is there any particular, preference or something like that, in terms of placement on the reed on the mouthpiece? Do you know what I mean?
So the whole concept is for the fabric chords to be touching the reed and nothing else. So it would sit like this, and as long as the bars are symmetrical to the distance to the reed, that's really all you have to remember. And other than that, there's no way to use it.
Awesome.
There's a little bit of tapering to compensate for the usual slope and taper of mouthpieces. So if you happen to flip it and try to put it the other way, it just won't go on. So you'll know right away to put it on the right way.
That's important to know.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
And second ligature that we have here is a titanium. So it's the same exact design and construction, but the metal is made out of entirely titanium. So it's much lighter. You can actually feel it in your hand.
Oh my gosh.
It's
wow.
much lighter, and it actually gives you a different sound experience, a little bit more well-rounded, and we actually describe it as something that's non-existent. So you really don't feel the ligature being even there, at all. So a lot of people enjoy this as an upgrade to some of the other ligatures that we have, because this is a bit highly priced compared to our other ligatures, but it's a very good step up if you're coming from like a usual Cryo 4 or a Hexa ligature.
Is there a particular sound profile?
It's very versatile. I can't really bracket it into one separate category, but it's very much a lot of tenor and alto players as well as soprano players really enjoy this particular ligature. Like I said, it is a little bit on the pricier side, so we do see a lot of Silverstein ligature players switching over to this instead of somebody who's coming from a brand new a ligature that they're not familiar with our brand at all.
Got it. And for this ligature, as well as any of your ligatures, soprano, alto, tenor, and bari?
Everything. Yep.
Everything. Got it. Awesome. Cool. We've got some more stuff over here,
and
too.
And we have mouthpieces, which we're not really known for in the market. We're really, established ourselves as a ligature company and a reed company, but we've actually been doing mouthpiece for a few number of years now, and we started out with the Leo Alto mouthpiece. It was actually designed to work for both classical and jazz application, but along the way we realized it leans a little bit more to the jazz, but in a more tapered and a mellow way. So not like in your face type of screaming type of mouthpiece that you see a lot of these metal mouthpieces accomplish. Ours is a more of a very tame, and we see a lot of doublers actually use these mouthpieces. Somebody that does both classic and jazz type of music, as well as somebody that plays a little bit of clarinet and also that likes to dabble in saxophones as well. They really like this as a equipment of choice.
And this would this also be good for? I'm just going to show the inside of this a little bit too. So like I'm thinking maybe people that are in saxophone quintets, people possibly in big bands, big band situations. Also, I'm thinking concert band situations where you're playing some more jazzy works like Gershwin and that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can just see this also over here too. Really nice looking.
And to kind of translate this over to our tenor players, we actually released this just last year. The alto piece released, I think, about 4 years now. And it's gotten a lot of attention, and people have been really loving it. But the natural question was like, where's the tenor version of it? So after many years of R&D and research and development, the philosophy obviously was to translate all the good benefits and what makes our Leo mouthpiece unique, translated over to tenor application. And that's why we have this here. It looks the same. And it accomplishes the same exact thing, but in a tenor saxophone application.
Awesome. Let me just give a close-up view to this one as well. So let's get the side of it. Let's check this out. Same type of applications here. I'm noticing also the beak. It's a nice slim profile on the beak, which I know for me, I like that. That really is helpful. And let me see if I can get you all to see the inside of this here. Let's see. It's always a little hard to do. Yeah, you can get an idea of the inside of that, the cut of the inside. Again, really substantial mouthpieces here too. I could feel the weight. What is this on the bottom?
It's actually a brass ring that's supposed to add a little bit mass to the sound tone. I guess it's a more of a preference thing, whether you agree with the sound benefits or not, but it's become sort of a signature look for our mouthpieces, so we decided to keep it on there, and it looks nice.
No, it definitely looks nice. And, I was just speaking, for example, with Jody Espina before about, we were talking about, like, a lot of people adding mass to the horn, the neck screws, the weights to the horn in various spots and stuff like that. And you have to try it. Some people may be like, no, I don't believe in that, but you have to try it because it's a feel. It's also a feel. It makes it feel more efficient as well. It's hard to explain. You just have to try it.
Yeah, like I said, with our mouthpieces, they're called Leo mouthpieces, available in alto and tenor. And like I said, we actually developed these mouthpieces for it to accomplish both jazz and classical applications, with a lot of people agree. At the end of the day, when they try it, they really see themselves playing in both type of context. But at the end of the day, we do cater. Most of our clienteles tend to kind of to be a jazz player that sort of are not looking for something so bright or outdoor sounding, but more tame and more of a maybe like a recording session type of a atmosphere.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a good distinction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And now we have.
Lastly, we have the Ambipoly reeds.
Yes.
So we have it for all the variations of saxophones as well as clarinets, both in jazz and classical cut. So even baritone, tenor, all the lineup, soprano and alto as well. And what makes these reeds so great is that they actually absorb moisture, allowing the reed to really have a natural cane-like sound. That already sets our reed apart from any of the other synthetic reed options that are out there. The moisture retention capability allows the reed to really have, just like any cane reed, cane sounds the way that they do only after you wet it. Same thing with our reeds. And because of that capability, you need to, anybody who's looking to try our reeds, please remember that you need to allow it for it to settle in when it's brand new. So for the first 10, 12, 15 minutes, allow yourself a little bit of time for the reed to really understand the contour and the traveling distance during the vibration to really get the most out of the reed.
I'm so glad you explained that because a lot of people think with all of the synthetic reeds you could just slap it on and play it. That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah,
and
not
I remember,
with these. No.
Yeah, I remember speaking to you about that. I have an Ambipoly reed that feels really good. It's got a great sound. One of my really good friends, Pat Sakari, out in California, a studio player, loves these reeds.
Yeah, and another thing to remember is that you can actually adjust these with a conventional reed knife, sandpaper, Reed Geek, any tool of your choice. It is a little bit denser in material compared to the feel that you would feel when you're taking away material on a cane reed, but it is possible that customization ability is there for any. I know not everybody takes advantage of it, but it's a good option to have, especially if you're a professional musician that likes to really get the perfect match between the mouthpiece and reed, because there's so many variety of mouthpieces that are out there with different tip and rail measurements. So it's really, if you know how to adjust your reeds, it's highly recommended that you do that.
For sure. And let me ask you, in terms of strength,
Yeah.
so like let's talk the Ambipoly jazz reeds, strength comparison to I don't know. I can't say a Van Doren Blue Box because Van Doren Blue Box, not everybody uses that for jazz. So can you compare that to maybe
our
Java?
go-to answer for that question, first of all, we do have a comprehensive size and comparison chart on our website, so you can always reference that. But my go-to answer is 1-to-1 compared to what you're used to, what you're familiar with. For example, this is a 2+. If you have a 2+ in mind, 9 out of 10 times our 2+ will work just fine. But the only takeaway or only thing for you to remember is that it's going to feel a little bit heavy and hard in the beginning because of the break-in period, like I mentioned. You just gotta allow it to really kind of ease up, and it'll really feel comfortable and feel like what you need a 2+ to be. So in the beginning, you might feel a little bit of resistance, but you do need to allow yourself to try it for about 10-12 minutes to really understand the strength of it.
And that's the first time only for
only
the
when
acclimation.
it's brand new. If you're switching a mouthpiece, then you can kind of expect it again.
Got
but
it.
if it's not the case, then only when it's new.
How long do you feel that, and again, this is not the easiest question, I understand that because everybody's different.
Yeah.
How long have people gotten use from one reed?
Oh man, 12, 13, 14 months. We do a longevity lifetime guarantee for a minimum of 6 months.
Wow.
But we don't get too many people getting in touch with us for a brand new reed. So we don't have enough data to really say it because everybody plays a different amount of, different number of hours as well as frequency.
And style of playing and that kind of thing.
And so it's really hard to gauge, but I could safely say at least 12, 13, we guarantee a minimum of 6.
That's awesome. I didn't know about that guarantee of 6 months.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. Talk to us more also about the strength sizes that are available. So you have 2.
So we do quarter increments starting from 2.
Okay.
And they go up to, I believe, 4.5.
So like 2, 2 plus, 2.5.
Exactly. Yeah. 2, 2/4, 2.5, 2.5/4, etc.
Got it. Yeah. So there's a lot of variety there for sure. And now this is the jazz reed.
This is the jazz. We have classic. They look the same, but the profiles are slightly different to compensate for. Like I said, there's a lot of variations of mouthpieces out there, and it's really for us to make a profile that works best for the usual classic, mouthpiece and also jazz mouthpieces. But even within those categories, there's so many variety of mouthpieces, so it's really hard to tell exactly which one of our reeds will work best for your mouthpiece. But really trying out a variety of the cuts as well as the strength is really recommended.
And would you say that the classic versus the jazz, are the strengths similar? Like the 2 plus is the same strength as the other 2 plus, or no?
I would say classical will feel a little bit more resistant and a little bit more darker in tone. Whether you feel like that's enough for you to feel like it's a harder strength is really, a matter of personal, takeaway. But it is a one-to-one, sizing comparison.
That's great to know.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
such great information. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but we're at NAMM, so why not? Anything up in the works for 2024?
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't say anything in detail, but we're always working on new things. Always working to improve existing lineup of our items that we already have in market, like the reeds and ligatures, because we're always constantly learning through our warranty program, as well as returning exchange data points. So we're always making little tweaks. Sometimes they're big enough improvements where we announce it as a brand new update. But even if it's not that, we are always constantly making improvements to make sure the experience is better than it was a year before that. But even outside of that, we are always looking to. We have a huge focus on our R&D efforts, and I wish I could share more, but we're always working hard to develop better experience and something new to the market, something innovative, and that's really key to all that we do. If it's like another mouthpiece or another something that's already in the market, there's plenty of good manufacturers that already do what they do, then we won't be in that space. It's something that we come across that we feel like it's a good contribution to the betterment of a variety of products that are out there. That's really when we decide to launch a product. So we do have a few line of products that we plan to announce and release during the year, but
not right now.
Yeah, not right now.
No, that's awesome. All right, well, let me ask this question. How can people find you online? What's the website?
www.silversteinworks.com. Very simple.
And if I'm not mistaken, because I am on their newsletter list, so people can sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
And find out first when things come out.
Newsletter, you can sign up for newsletter on our website, as well as you have a pretty good and very active Facebook and Instagram page, as well as YouTube. So there's a lot of information out there. So just keep yourself in the loop.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Donna.
I had to wait until it was quiet over here. So this is the end of the second day.
This is as quiet as it's going to get. Huh?
I know, because it's never quiet here. And so I've been trying, for not only this NAMM, but previous NAMMs, I can't get here on time. So I'm so glad that you had the time, and I had the time to do the podcast with you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.